YouTube though. Never prepared, but always ready, people. No, I'm just kidding. And on I go. I'm kind of not kidding. Oh. Hello. You got you on here? Boom. Yeah, you got to put his back. All right. We got a better way of doing things now so we can see everything. What is going on, everybody? We live on iGo, of course, here on YouTube, Facebook. We're about to get the Periscope going so we can start doing Periscopes on Twitter because the Twitter crowd, I mean, hey, sorry, Facebook, Twitter crowd's way better than you all, so rather just switch that over now. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 52.
Oh, yeah.
Crypto Q, what's going on?
What's up, Crypto Q?
I am King.
I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are bridging the gap between the community and crypto.
We gotta get like a teleprompter in the background or something. Tonio, what's going on?
Say it every time.
I mean, if you all know us, you know the first 45, 50 seconds is the mess. People, we jump from literally one project to the next and keep it moving, so here we are.
That's the beauty of our show. It's not scripted.
It's not scripted. You don't know what you're going to get. What's going on, Shanice? What's going on, Dave, over here on Facebook?
What's up, Ariel? How you doing, man?
Hello. All right, so let's jump into it. Not all the way where we wanted at 10K, but Bitcoin reached a high 99 and some change, right?
Yeah. About 99.60.
Oh my goodness! Listen, the problem here is the United States. Okay, Asia's doing their part, Europe's doing their part, and every time we hit this morning time for the U.S. traders, it goes down. What is going on with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, right now it's looking like price-wise it's pushing, but I saw some sell walls last night. Jesus Christ.
They were huge, right?
$20-30 million sell walls on some of these some of these people at 10K are like, no, I'm not passing it yet. But there's a couple reasons why. Let's see, what is it? Oh, Ripple. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I mean, Ripple it went up 30% today. A few of them did.
Everybody, there's a few.
I would say, well, we'll talk about it.
Get some good bags for the day.
But the still the king, Bitcoin, right now, the reason I think it's not going past 10,000 mainly is, the growth of U.S. is always slower than Korea. Korea is like all into it. But also, too, maybe a few theories floating out there. Which is always fun.
Whenever there's theories in crypto, I get worried.
I'm one of those people, I like hearing them. Most of them, I just kind of ignore them and laugh.
What's going on, Lena?
But I did want to bring it up just because there are people who are concerned, and there are people who, are making a case for this. But I doubt it. There's something going around the internet, if you haven't heard, called Operation Dragonslayer. It was pushed out by a guy on Twitter.
Game of Thrones? Okay, Twitter.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's what it sounds like. What is this, man? It's not
this is crypto for you.
It's not an army operation. But
Operation Dragonslayer.
Yeah, exactly. I guess what's happening is you have a bunch of people who want to get their hands on Bitcoin. All right. And the easiest way to do it is to take it from new people. People that have weak hands, people that don't know what they're doing. Because people panic buy and people panic sell. So Operation Dragonslayer was basically supposedly a scheme for a bunch of big, rich Chinese billionaires who have the money. They have a scheme going where they're going to push the price to 10,000, and then at around the 10,000 price, dump it back to below the $1,000 levels.
Whoa.
Because it won't cost them any money, because they could just use Tether to short it, and it won't actually cost them because Tether isn't actually backed with the U.S. dollars like they thought. That's the premise of the actual operation. However, a few people have come out and said, yeah, how could this be true? Market moves, blah blah blah. What I will say is two things. For one, the market is it does this thing, but for two, leading up to CME futures, leading up to some of these big announcements. Weak hands will start selling. I will tell you that. People swear they'll hold until they're facing that decision. Because
who's over here shilling Ripple like crazy on our comments?
Yeah, Ripple,
right, calm down, people.
Yeah, calm down, man. I mean, we've seen coins go 500%, man. 30 is okay, but
so you saying that by using Tether, their game plan is to buy up a bunch of Bitcoin, sell it all. Cause people to panic and freak out and have it drop at a low price.
And then buy it all back.
At once.
Yeah, and have their buy orders set. So basically what you'll see is sort of that drop to 5,500 where you saw the long wicks twice. That'll be basically what it is. A lot of sell or a lot of support right there. But they're thinking they can dump it back down to below the $1,000 levels, which I highly doubt.
That's a big dump.
But I will say, I was around when it dumped from $11.50 down to like $70. So, but that was more of a it was pumping up early.
Bitcoin basis. She need a dip. I need a dip too. Trust me, I ain't waiting.
Everybody waiting for this dip. That well, it came, but it always comes just like that. Like if you look at charts for 24 hours, you may catch it. Or if you set a buy order, early, for where you think it's gonna drop. But it's hard to predict. Because when it happens, I've seen some of these drops. It happens like that. Like people will be like, "Oh yeah, I made so much money," until all of a sudden you see it 96, 92, 84. Like I've seen it, drop like that.
And that's
before,
when you get sell. Yeah,
that's when people are like, "Okay, I'll just take my profits," and then the volume goes over, and then next thing you have is a huge red candle, and a lot of people are new, so they'll just say, "Oh, forget it, I'll take my profits."
This experiment's over.
Yeah.
So somebody asked about Ethereum. What about Ethereum? Ethereum's on track to do very well.
Yeah, it's doing great.
They have a lot of new stuff coming out with Metropolis and all that. We've seen their all-time high as well. I mean, honestly, it is looking like, we never know because it is, everything is new happening for the first time, but it is looking like alt season is back in. I know people were talking about, what is it? You're talking about Ripple, or people are asking about Ethereum. Like Bitcoin, they say, it's like 3 or 4 different ones that pumped hard. I saw Beat pump pretty hard today.
Cardano.
They got some stuff coming out Q1 of next year. Cardano, what you say?
Cardano. Yeah.
Cardano, yeah. Ethereum Classic. For those who don't know, the reason why Ethereum Classic, if you kind of zoom out and look at the last 3 weeks to a month, and that's still really a short time frame. But if you just look at that time frame, you're going to see Ethereum Classic pumping. And for those who don't know, that's because it's a hard fork on December 12th. However, I'm not sure they're actually giving out another batch of free coins, as people call it.
Yeah.
So it might just be a pump for no reason. So make sure you are buying the rumor and selling the news. I just told you the date. So, it's already up. Wait for that dip. If you want to get some Ethereum Classic, it should go up before December 12th again. Sell and profit. But again, that's not professional trading advice. I'm just doing okay with it. So.
Yeah. And Grayscale, I will say the Grayscale investments, they're actually adding an option to trade. It's a different market class. I can't remember, but Grayscale is the investment trust that holds Ethereum Classic. So you can invest in Ethereum Classic through a regulatory way. You don't have to actually buy it. So it's already had some good fundamentals there going forward. Plus, it has the name Ethereum in it. People don't realize, marketing wise, that always helps. That's why Bear is going so hard for Bitcoin.
I was just about to actually say something about that
because it helps. Trust me, people, in the SEO world, keywords matter. So if you type Ethereum Classic's popping up with it every time. And when people look like, oh, so what is this? And then they hear the story behind it, you do have some people that are like, oh, so this is the original Ethereum. This is the real one. Then some people, they stick with Ethereum as it is now simply because the value is going up so much and you need it to buy a lot of these ICOs. So
speaking of that real quick, somebody just actually asked me about an ICO. So people, just to give you a heads up, we do know a lot of them that's coming out. However, we said in the last few shows, we haven't been paying a lot of attention to ICOs. Because a lot of them are scams right now. So just make sure you're doing your own research on it because it is a Wild West. We've had a few hitters up that, reach back out. We said we'll do interviews, so we'll see what happens. What's going on, Dimitri? Yeah, so...
What's up, cousin Tony? What's up, man? But yeah.
Oh, he's a cousin.
Yeah, somebody said something about IOTA. IOTA, yes.
IOTA's, would pump pretty hard, too. They just did a partnership with Microsoft and Fuji something. I actually wrote that down, I think.
And they got a new marketplace, coming, and everybody's still waiting. I think the build up now is the anticipation for IOTA to get put on Bittrex, and
it's the next one. I keep telling people IOTA is the next big one. Yeah, Fujitsu. It was Microsoft, IOTA, and Fujitsu. If I'm pronouncing it right, you guys know I'm terrible with pronunciations. I'm gonna say that wrong, but that's what's causing the price rise. If you've been watching us, we've been pumping IOTA hard only because we really like it if it works, long term. And, you talk about connecting everything. We did a post on Twitter yesterday or this morning early where they were talking about how somebody's using their Tesla to mine Bitcoin or mine crypto now. Yeah. And that is the Internet of Things, people. When you can use your car to mine something else. When you use your microwave and fridge to do all these, things for you, whether it's mining or ordering more food or heating your food up for you, that is the Internet of Things. We have a strong belief that is the future, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So,
and if you can go to a station and pump electricity into your car, for the most part, if you keep your car charged, keep your whatever charged, you can make money from mining cryptocurrency. And there's some where you can rent out your computing power space to other people. So people you never even met, they'll access your computing power from wherever they are securely, and they can use it to mine. So I mean, it's a lot of the economy is changing because, like I said, the Internet of Things is one step, and then when you factor in payments instantly, quickly, you know, because of cryptocurrency, you don't have that barrier of entry where IOTA or Internet of Things right now is kind of like, well, what are you gonna do? Pay with PayPal? You know what I mean? Like you can't. Right? I mean, as crazy as the technology is, there's not a whole lot you can do in the current system. But with cryptocurrency, through the roof, and IOTA, their entire supply is already out. So the entire 2 billion IOTA it's not mined. You know what I mean? It's out there. So everybody that's buying it, demand wise, they know how much is the supply.
Right.
And they know how much is there. So they're like, okay, well, let me go ahead and get my hands on some. And you know, you're starting to see that price rise because it went 30-something cent a month ago. Now it's at 124.
Yeah, it went up like 90% in the last.
Yeah, we said it was a $10 coin probably 6 months ago. So.
I haven't heard of that one yet.
SONM. I've seen it. I haven't really looked as much into it because you gotta understand it's thousands of coins.
It's a lot now. See, look, you guys are throwing us coins left and right.
I have Skycoin. I am looking at buying a lot of that. Going into because they got their whole Skynet. Yeah, Skynet is looking like one of those things. Even though it is, you know, kind of crazy Skynet in the movie versus Skynet coming out in real life. It'll watch everything you do, but.
And you know, it's important you said that too, and I'm glad you mentioned that. What was that? I think Bitcoin Beta said something about that one.
Yeah.
Because you know, people look into net neutrality. I can't even say the word right now because it's pissing me off every time I think of it. Net neutrality.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, did like a little small thing on it probably earlier this year, back in February or March. Did like a 10-15 minute segment on it, but that is serious. They are basically trying to charge you for the internet and then block you off of certain parts of the internet, which, you know, if you've ever been overseas in some of the countries like the Middle East, for example, when I was in the Middle East, like some of the movies that would come out here, if you watch them there, you'd be like, wait, is this like 30 minutes of the movie's missing, you know, because they can just literally, the government will cut it out. You do not want the government getting their hands all over the internet. I mean, it's bad enough that it's already concentrated and centralized to just a few service providers for the most part. So make sure, you know, if there's anything you have in your power you can do, whether it's calling your local congressman, whatever, senator, hit them up and make sure you push back on this because it's one of those things, once it happens, if they can push this all the way through, it's going to be very hard to go back.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the worst part though is one of those things where governments are shooting themselves in the foot. They're talking about all the different criminals and crypto and stuff. Well, by trying to centralize and ban the internet, all they're gonna do is make it 10 times worse for people to do illegal stuff.
Oh yeah, prohibition never works.
Prohibition don't work.
In the internet age, yeah, good luck trying to ban an entire world of people trying to get on the internet. I mean, people don't realize it, but I've been saying it. It's more to it than just the money part. People's mindset is changing. People are starting to realize we don't need these people. Like, who are these people that keep telling us what we need to do to protect us? Like, man, I'm a grown-ass man. Why are you, everything I do, you do to protect me or do to protect us? It's not really protection. Consumer protection is nothing but a way to control you, usually. And with net neutrality, just more of the same. And I will say, sometimes using the VPN, trying to get on Netflix, and it says it's not available in your country, I'm like, dang, that sucks. Like, you can't get on... You just can't do certain stuff. So, yeah, that would throw a wrench in a lot of people's plans, internet-wise. So, yeah, we definitely need to push net neutrality out of here.
So this is why I'm done with my Facebook Live. People, it keeps freezing on me. I don't know why. So if you're on Facebook Live, pardon us. Just check us out on YouTube where you can see us, or on iGo Live.
What's up,
it's
man?
a little bit easier.
Jay Fish, how y'all doing, man? Thanks.
We actually had a
what's up, man?
We actually had a new Dino of the Day, and that was the South Korea guy, Korean mayor. Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, shout out Crypto Q, hit us up with that.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, what's the South Korean guy name?
I forget. Is the Prime Minister?
Is it the Prime? Yeah, South Korean Prime Minister.
Yeah, the Prime Minister stated
Lee Nak-yeon.
He said Bitcoin could cause kids to get into crime because obviously crime wasn't around before Bitcoin. It just started as soon as Bitcoin was created. But using Bitcoin could get kids into crime because it's easier to access. Basically, we can't watch what kids are doing, so they're going to do stuff that's wrong. Well, duh, people are going to do that anyway. It's just Bitcoin is a way or is a means to an end. The same way cash is, the same way anything is. People have been using stolen credit cards and gift cards for years. So.
What I will say though is, first let's make it official. South Korean Prime Minister, I can't pronounce your last name and I don't want to chop it up. So I'll just say for the South Korean Prime Minister, you are officially our dinosaur of the day. However, I will say, South Korea is like a sanctuary country for Bitcoin and crypto. So I almost think he's just aligning himself with the rest of like the EU, the US, the regulators. So he's like, no, guys, I get it. I'm gonna play, But in reality, he knows what's up. His country knows what's up.
I'm one of the cool dads.
Yeah, I'm one of the cool dads.
One of the cool dads. But I still got to make sure the kids, like whatever, man.
Right. So Kraken. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up because I actually had talked to you about that today.
Trash.
I tried to get on Kraken actually last night.
Garbage juice.
It was a point where Bitcoin dropped just a little bit, not too much, but I was looking to do some margin trading, and Kraken is just all types of messed up. I just lost my complete confidence. Unfortunately, I really did like it, but 502 errors. It's
you
everywhere.
Get 502, 502 errors every time you get on it.
So it looks like Kraken. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're dead right now, but hey, they on their last, they on their last heartbeat, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Like, I know we got Binance now. We got Bitstamp. How's Poloniex been doing?
Poloniex
it's back.
It's running
back a little bit.
I mean, it's okay.
Ever since that troll box shut down.
I would say I know. Yeah, the troll box that killed me. But I do know the prices. They're always a little bit lower than Bittrex. So arbitrage wise, there's an opportunity there if you know what you're doing. But also too, if you strictly trade on Poloniex, you're missing out on some of the gains. I've seen like it'll be a 20% gap between Poloniex and Bittrex. I'm like, all right, that's ridiculous. But like I said, Binance. RIP Polo Troll Box. Those were some good days, laughing at people losing money and crying about rent and stuff.
And one more trading tip, what you just said, because of the difference how you can arbitrage it. And again, you need to be careful, especially some of the people who are in these signal groups now. Everybody changed their name from pump and dump groups to signal groups ever since Bittrex came out with whatever they came out with in their statement. So I will say be careful with all of that. But in addition, I saw a signal the other day that was saying how you could buy, what was it? I think people were trying to buy Ethereum with Tether. The Ethereum Tether pairing was a lot less than what the Bitcoin one was. So they were buying that and then switching that out to Bitcoin. They said on average, you were saving about $500 per buy, considering an entire Bitcoin. So I know a lot of people went on the last, probably like yesterday was the biggest one where a lot of people trying to arbitrage the Tether and Ethereum back to Bitcoin because they were making a ton of money. But again, the only thing I would say out, I'm putting this out, not necessarily so you can try it because you could get wrecked if, it goes wrong. But also just know, when Bittrex are shutting down these accounts or closing them, they're not even giving people a heads up. They're just locking you out. So, I mean, it's just not worth it. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful with it because if you try to do it and they catch you on that, then you are done. But back to nothing. You're talking about the Roger Ver thing. So Roger Ver came out shortly after our video. I swear everybody watches this no same thing. But he came out with the apology, people. He said he got a little rattled and off his pivot. Hey, whatever. I get it.
I don't.
Yeah. But, one of the things a lot of people were pointing out was that, some people think it really hurt the brand of BCH. I'll just say that. Other people think it helped it. But again, this is what we talk about. These are people who are, already wealthy. They're CEOs of companies or in charge of projects and leaders in different spaces, and they are turning up on Twitter. So Twitter needs to send all these people a thank you letter. For keeping them in business.
I will say though, hating a coin isn't something I really care about. But some of the people that are involved in it, Jesus Christ, these people are trash.
The sound effect.
Get your emotions.
The sound effect.
Get your emotions together. Like, who are these super emotional men? Millionaires.
Emotional
Jesus
people,
Christ.
I mean, the fact that they care so much, I guess, is good. But there's definitely some emotions going on.
Yeah, and some of them is more. They haven't had people openly come out and say they don't like them. Like, you know what I mean? Like certain people grow up certain ways. And, people are coddled, and people. Yeah, and he calls Bitcoin core. Whatever, you can call it whatever you want. Like my boy, what's his name, that created Litecoin, Charlie Lee.
Katarina.
Like Charlie Lee said, whatever people call Litecoin is what it's called. Who cares? Who cares what it's called? It's the cryptography behind it, the private keys. If you own it, that's what it is. The name though, like I said, that is a big thing in the SEO world. Being able to use Bitcoin Cash, that he's losing money by not being able to do that. So it's all about the text. Who cares about the name?
That's right.
Who cares about who created it at this point? You know what I mean? So. He's a grown man. But
what's up, Katrina?
He gotta get it together, man. Crying all the time.
Yeah. So all right.
Apologizing, man.
And better news, I know, right?
I'd rather you double down on it. Be like,
I meant what I said, and I'm coming to see you at the next conference.
Use both hands next time. Flick them off with 2 hands.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'd rather double down.
This is why we haven't been going to conference, people. You all don't want us there, and then get to drink and somebody say something sideways. Come on, we got business to protect.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, but no, so positive news, though. So Novogratz, what's going on with him? For those who don't know, Mike Novogratz, I would just say he left Wall Street.
What's going on, Paris?
As Bitcoin's A told me earlier, he was like, Wall Street isn't a bad place to get fired from. So, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But Novogratz, he left Wall Street. We'll say that. He's been full-time in the crypto now. He's starting his fund where he's seeking to reach 500 million, which, to be honest, was kind of a low number considering his connections, but whatever, it's a great start. Way more than me, so I can't say anything. Yeah. But what's his prediction now for Bitcoin? He's predicted a Bitcoin price, right?
Yeah, he was on TV. He said 40,000 per Bitcoin, and that is by the end of 2018. The thing is, he doesn't want people to forget. There's Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold. And then Bitcoin Diamond just came, whatever. Yeah. But he wants people to realize he's talking about Bitcoin as a whole, those top 3. However, I think Bitcoin will be the lion's share of it, somewhere around 25, 30K, which means that, even though people hate Bcash and some people don't like Bitcoin Gold because it's just something, the value can still come. You can't be emotional when trading. And when trying to make money, Novogratz on
he
Fast
was on
Money.
CNBC, right?
Yep, Mike Novogratz. And he had his troubles with Wall Street, but it's looking like most of the people who had troubles with Wall Street are doing just fine in crypto because the regulations, the rules, the self-sufficiency, not having to rely on a trading desk to execute, all that extra stuff actually makes it cheaper and actually makes you more money. So shout out to him for making good predictions so far, but we'll see. End of 2018, 40,000. Right now, the prices are hovering around 10. May see a correction. May see Operation Dragonslayer down to 1,000. I doubt it. But either way, I see it going at least beyond 25K at this point. Way too much FOMO and volume. Well,
the thing is, too, honestly, people, we keep saying over. I know you actually, I think you put on one of your social media accounts, you say you think, 1 million is your selling point. Yeah. And I'm with that. Like, we're looking at way higher numbers than what everybody are people. I mean, I get it, they're targeting it, but they have no way to predict it because, again, they are not accounting for the underbanked and unbanked, which was what it kind of primarily was for. Bitcoin came out saying, hey, or some of the talking points behind it when people start talking about was, there's over half of the world's population, over 4 billion people are underbanked or no banking. So they're not even accounting for those numbers. They're looking at other markets, other financial markets and industries that already have the money. They're looking at gold. We take some money away from gold market. We take some from the equities market. We take some from the derivatives market. That's the number. That's how they're getting their equation. Yeah. Me, I'm actually accounting for the world's population. Yeah. I always say, I'm looking for 1% of the world's population. 1% of the entire world using crypto, specifically Bitcoin. And to me, that's how you get your number. And so for me, that's way beyond 40K. And depending on the network effect and how fast that transition happens to go over to crypto, I think we can see a way higher number than 40K in a short amount of time before anybody believe it. I mean, we're looking at 10K already. How crazy is that? Yeah. 10K was supposed to be the end of next year, people. Do you realize that? Yeah. 10K was supposed to be like middle to end of next year.
And just bouncing off your point, we still haven't seen any type of economic collapse. That's what people don't realize.
Market's still pumping.
Yeah, market's still doing good because in 2008, 2009, you didn't have a choice. You know what I mean? Like after this stuff happened, I try and reiterate this almost every show. You got to remember, after the recession of 2008, 2009, there was no way to hedge your money. I mean, you could have put it in gold, but how much money did that really make you? You know what I mean? Could have put it in real estate when it tanked, and you could have made a good amount of money by now, 10, 12 years after. The thing is, if you have an option and your fiat currency is not doing its job, Zimbabwe, then you'll see what we're talking about. Because Zimbabwe, when it was at 7,000, they were trading at 11, and then when the coup started, it went all the way up to $15,000 per Bitcoin. Like we're talking about exponential growth, doubling every other week is doubling in price because more people need it because they got to buy stuff. People still got to buy stuff. So they got to have industry.
You gotta pay rent, people.
You gotta do something. So if you have an asset class that allows you to hedge against any type of economic collapse that we all know is coming. They always come. It's not like we're going to live the rest of our life and the economy is never going to collapse. And then 2, that you can actually grow wealth with, long term. Who wouldn't want to use that? And some of the people who are refuting it, saying it's a bubble, it's going to go away. It's worth $300 billion total, cryptocurrency market. The dot-com bubble was around $2.5 trillion. We're not even close. So trust me, we got a long way to go before we can start talking about bubble talk. And by the time it hits that point, the price of Bitcoin will be way above 50,000. So for those of you who think that's a big jump, it was 1,000 in January. It went times 10. Yeah. From 10,000 to 50,000 is only times 5. So we're not talking about a big...
People aren't looking at percentages. They're looking at numbers at this point.
10 to 25,000 isn't that big of a jump. You know what I mean? So what we're saying isn't, these monstrous pie in the sky numbers. This is simple math based on how the market's working, also with psychology of humans. Because like I said before, when people realize I don't need y'all, they're not going to use you all. So I think people are starting to realize that now. I mean, we got Uber, Amazon, Airbnb. My mom used to always say, don't get in a car with strangers, and I do it all the time now. Simply because, like you said, software works. If it works, it's centralized. Alibaba, it's centralized, but if software works, it's usually more reliable than people. And if you don't believe me, try and drive through stoplights where they use algorithms, and then try and drive with patrolmen that wave you through, and see which one is better. That's basically the difference between the banking industry and Bitcoin. So that's what you need to know going forward, because software is usually a lot better than people. So
and you know what? In addition to that, again, I'm looking at the 1% people. What about the people who don't bank? And here's the great thing about crypto right now, especially this year, and which is why we're so bullish on 2018. Leading up really until, I would say, about June to July of this year, about June to July. So all the way up until July of this year. So for the past 8.5 or so years, even last year, there was only a handful of people working in this space. We threw those numbers out like a month or two ago, which I think was like maybe 1,800 jobs in the space so far, tops. That are, of course, have been increasing every day since then, if not already, probably quadrupled by that time, by now. But my point is, last year, we only had, say, a couple thousand people working in this space, right? Now people see what crypto can do for them, what it can do for banking, what it can do for sending remittances payments, store of value, all this good stuff. And by next year, when you look at the amount of people we actually have working on, the amount of smart, talented, young people, old people come from everywhere around the world trying to figure out the same problem. I guarantee the problems will be fixed at a quicker rate. There will be more use cases for better coins that come out, better tokenized companies, all that good stuff. And that's when you will really start seeing those, oh my goodness, Bitcoin went up $3,000 a day. And everybody's gonna be like, go up every day. Right?
And I'm not saying it's never gonna come down, but I can guarantee you when Lightning Network comes and you can pay for basically zero fees or less than a penny in fees, and it's instant, there will almost be no reason for some of these cryptocurrencies to exist. So hey, it's coming. It's just, development takes time. And there is an article that came out saying how Bitcoin is like email in the 90s, like we're in 94. We're basically at the point where people have heard of it. They've seen it, on the screen, but they have no clue how to use it. And so most people don't want to use it. So if everybody has that uncle or their grandfather that was like, I ain't using no computer. I don't need no computer. Everybody has one. But I'm sure they got a smartphone today. Yeah. They're going to have to adapt at some point. So when you show up in line 10 years from now trying to pay with a check or a credit card or whatever, and people are gonna look at you like, what are you doing? You're gonna be that old lady writing a check for 28 cents. That's gonna be you back later in the future. So if it takes over the market always wins. So just remember that.
Yeah, so crypto's looking good, people. We're in good shape. Let's see.
And consensus is today.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, what's going on with consensus?
I'm about to, once we get off here, watch it live. Consensus 2017. It's a big conference in New York. They definitely have done it the right way as far as getting people out there. I just want to throw it out because if you go on CoinDesk, you can watch it live. You can see some of the speakers, some of the big names. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Bitcoin space, some of the people in it. If you look at their speeches, look at them doing presentations, you'll see what we're talking about. They say it in a more eloquent manner, some of them. Not McAfee though, he won't. He don't really care.
McAfee off the chain right now.
I was gonna say some of the people that'll be there. Mike Belsith, he's Belsith, he's the BitGo CEO. Tour Demester, a lot of people will follow him on Twitter. One of the best researchers out there from Adamant Research. And Arthur Hayes, the CEO of BitMEX. All of them, those are a few of the people that are out there at Consensus 2017. Yep. So
put us up. Put us up.
Yeah.
Hey, Bitcoin Barbie said, or Bitcoin Bay said she needs speaking at these. We need to speak at these conferences.
Yeah, well,
we actually told people that
put
this
together
year.
our own conference.
Yeah, we putting together some stuff. Like I said, 2018 is gonna be a big year.
Yeah.
We were invited to a couple of conferences this year, but hey, you know, we bought these checks, people. We ain't out here playing.
Yeah.
So this is what it is. But yeah, so consensus is going on. I think that's about it. We did forget to do the free Bitcoin yesterday. That's our fault. You know, Bitcoin is rising too much. We didn't want to give away no more. No, just kidding. But today for the free Bitcoin, what are we doing?
For the free Bitcoin today.
Any ideas?
Yeah, let's see. Look at the list of speakers and say who do you think will have the most impact? Because usually somebody gets up and speaks and then the price goes at most of these conferences. So, and why? Yeah, who do you think will get up there and speak and actually have impact? Because some of these people you watch, nobody cares, but some people start talking and they're like, oh, that's actually coming. And then boom, bull run straight through 10,000.
So for the free Bitcoin today, in quotes, make sure you have a public address that works. After the YouTube video, you got to put it in that comment section. You're going to put the best speaker from consensus that you think, or who's going to
have the best impact. Yeah.
Who's going to have the most impact from consensus, the speaker, and why.
Yeah.
So make sure you do some quick due diligence on that. We'll give out that free Bitcoin tomorrow. I know it's one more person we owe it to, so we got your message a couple days ago. I responded to him, so we'll get that to you. And also, 2 more things that's coming up. Meetup. We're going to actually do a crypto meetup in the LA area for anybody that's in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do it December 14th. That's a Thursday. We're going to start actually doing them every month, probably the 3rd Thursday of the month. But for this initial one, we're just going to do it the 2nd Thursday because the 3rd one's going to be a Christmas holiday that week. So December 14th on Thursday, more likely to be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in LA. We'll make sure we get all those links out and all that. We just want to give you the heads up to it. And second thing is, this Saturday, so we begin a lot of emails from a lot of new people in the space or beginners who just want to learn about investing, trading, whatever, or just the cryptocurrency in general. We are going to be doing so we already do seminars for people, but we're going to be opening up the seminar a little bit to the public. So this Saturday, I believe we're going to do it from about 12 to 1:30 p.m. We'll be doing a seminar. We're going to price it fairly, probably just be like 10 or 15 bucks, make it fair, probably 10 bucks, honestly. And
for beginners.
For beginners.
So all of you who are watching this, like, I have no clue what y'all talking about.
If you don't know what we're talking about, this is for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll have that this Saturday as well from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. Again, we'll put all these links. We'll put all the information in some of this video links, and then for sure tomorrow, once we figure out everything, get everything programmed, we'll send out the link, the invite link, and you can add it. And then after you pay, we'll make sure you're accepted into it. So like I said, a lot of good stuff going on. Oh, the crypto meetup, that's going to be kind of toward Beverly Hills, West Los Angeles, or West Hollywood and Beverly Hills area.
Yep.
So we'll put all that information out. We got the place locked down. We talked to the owner yesterday. He can't wait to have everybody there.
Yep. He actually knows about crypto.
Yeah, he knows about crypto. We'll see if we can start getting him accepted.
Hey, there we go. Spend some crypto. Like, hey, I'll give you a little bit more if I can pay in Bitcoin. But yeah,
so we can pay. Yep. And okay, somebody just asked a great question. Thank you, Katarina Go. So for the seminar, you can also pay Bitcoin. You can pay by Bitcoin, Ethereum, or dollars as well. Seminar usually goes for about 45 minutes or so, and then we do like a Q&A for the next 30, 40 minutes as well. And you can literally ask us beginner questions from that seminar or kind of more in-depth questions that you have about different things. And of course, for those who don't know, you can still go to our website, www.kirbycrypto, KRBECRYPTO.com. Go to that services tab. We also do individual consultations and group stuff. So it's been busy for us, but we got a lot of good stuff coming for you all right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. What's up, Bitcoin hippie? All right, Tony.
I think that's it, right?
That's all for me.
All right, have a great day, people. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Hopefully we hit that 10K mark because I'm pretty sure when the States go to sleep tonight, Europe and Asia are going to push it for us.
Yeah, it's going to be when everybody sleeps.
It's going to be when everybody's sleeping. I can't wait. It's going to go up. It's going to drop down so quick.
I don't sleep.
All right, you all have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
And of course, my did I spell X? Yeah. I'm about to jack this up. For my I Go Live